Alright guys, now comes the second part of horizontal beehive construction, which is the top. We're going to make the inner cover and some landing boards here for the bees so they can go in and out. Alright, so as I said in the previous video, this side here is 45 inches. I'm going to measure that one more time to make sure. Yep, 45. So the way I do my top for the hive, basically, I'll leave an inch on this side and inch on this side, just so I have an overlap, because I do a notch here and this sits right in there and this gives you overlap so the water can go in or anything like that. This is a 2x4, that's all that is, and except this is not treated, this is just on pine, softwood. Alright, so we got two 47-inch sides. Basically this is how it's going to go. I usually construct this right on the floor. I just want to show you what I'm talking about. Why I do the things I do. So that's how they're going to go. You're going to have, this is going to be out a little bit. Basically like this, so you have this overlap in case of rain or anything. It doesn't go in here. I'm also going to cut out half-inch notch here so it sits right on the edge of this. Sits in, and this drops down, covers the hive. For the other sides, you're going to go ahead and cut 19 inches and 3/4. So you're going to need two of those as well. Two pieces of 19 inches and 3/4. So we can put this together basically. Before I do put all this together, you can just screw this in together, put it on top, and put a piece of plywood, and you'll be all set. However, I'm gonna put a half-inch notch here all the way through, just so it sits on the edge and actually goes down over the edge here and kind of insulates the hive a little better. So let's cut these up and put these together and put it on top and see what it looks like. Alright, now that we got these cut out, I just want to show you what I was talking about. Why I do this. You don't have to do this, but I just find it a lot better. So basically it sits here on the edge. There you go. It's going to sit here, sits on top of this lip, but it has an overlap. If you look at this side, it'll have an overlap here for the weather impact. Nothing goes in and out. Alright, so now what's next? We're going to go ahead and put these four pieces together, screw them in. I'm using 3-inch deck screws. So basically this is how it's going to open up and sit there. See? It's fine. It just sounds, here you go. Just because it's not, I don't have hinges down here. It keeps moving when I lift it. But basically that's how it's gonna go. Now, if you don't want to do the rabbit down here, that's fine too. You can just construct it just like this, because I have hives that are the same way. Just like this, you see this top. If you flip this over, this will sit right on top. This will sit right on top of these. Basically, and you'll still have this overlap here and all the way around. Basically still keeping the water out and everything else. So that's really up to you. Like I said, I'm making it for myself, so it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be functional. There you go. So next we're going to put a piece of plywood on top, which I already have cut out. Here we go. I had this cut off from last time I did. So basically that would be your top and your hive. So just go ahead and screw the plywood in. Make sure you pre-drill the holes on top though, because if you don't, it's gonna crack. And then you can go ahead and cover it with whatever you think you should. You can use aluminum. What I use, I'll actually show you what I use. I use these PVC. I buy them cut out at this size. You can buy a whole thing like 4 feet by 8 feet. It's a little cheaper. So this is PVC trim. Actually used for decks outdoor to do the trim, and it's basically plastic, and they can last forever. So what I do, I'll just slap that on top and give it some screws around. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and then we're gonna construct the inner cover too. Alright, in this next step, we're going to use a router to cut another notch 1/4 inch here. That's where our boards are going to go on top. Just to sit in there so they don't fall out or anything. So I'm only going just a little bit in, maybe 3/8 in, and a 1/4 inch down. So that's what it's going to look like. So that way when we put the inner cover, the boards on top, they can just sit in there nice, and we can work with them. Now this one you can also do on a, if you don't have a router, you can do it on a table saw. Just do the measurements and cut a notch here as well. That's as easy as that. Just like we did the first one, just different measurements basically. There you go, just a little notch up top so you can keep the inner covers, the boards. You can do this one too, you don't have to, it's really up to you. That's how I did that. Just a little bit of space so we can put the boards in there. That's all. Inner cover, what I use is this, another pine board, 1 inch. This one is, I believe, 8 inches. I've used 4, 5, 6, it doesn't really matter. It's really a personal preference, that makes no difference. These work the best for me. They sit well, and so I'm gonna cut them. I'm gonna measure this and cut them in that size. So let me cut one out and show you. Here you go. Sits right there. While on top, as you can see, goes all the way to the edge. So what we want to do is just go through, make sure this fits everywhere. Because these hives, as I've noticed, some of these boards are warped, curved in just a little bit. As you can see, this one doesn't go further. So I'm gonna have to cut a shorter one up here. It's like an 1/8 shorter, but it's shorter. So we can cut a couple more like this, same size. Say hello to Khaleesi, I don't know if you can see her. Trying to be my use. At least 2 more. So let me cut 2 more, 19 and 5/8. There you go. They sit in there really well. So there's this one. So next one is gonna have to be just a little shorter. Like I said, like an 1/8 of an inch down here. No big deal. All right, as you can see, that's it. So you can put little handles here, this leftover wood that I have. I'll just drill a little screw through here, keep them here, just so I can lift them up easier, I guess. All right, what I do need to do is put some holes in here. I'll put 2 of them, and probably 2 right here. Just to give them a little ventilation through. So let me just put those holes in right now. So we're gonna do 1.25 inches. Now they've got some ventilation. As you can see, and we have this one as well. This moves out super easy. As you can see, you can move these around as you need. Okay, my friends, that's it. So that's how I make my horizontal hives. Cost me probably under 70 bucks to make, even though I bought like pre-cut stuff. So if you buy, like, for example, plywood, 4 by 8 foot board, you're probably gonna end up paying a lot less. All right, so let me know what you think.